Welcome back to the Walk and Talk, and here next to me is Sean. Go ahead and share with us a little bit and learn more about you. What's the quickest 40 time you've recorded so far?
My fastest 40 time right now is a 4-4 flat.
Yeah, that's some speed right there. And then continuing on, I want to know and learn more about you as well as what is some of your day-to-day or quotes that you live by?
Day-to-day quotes that I live by.
Yeah.
One that I definitely has been coming to mind lately is a man distracted is a man defeated. And I've just been real focused on getting rid of my distractions, like whatever is hindering me from, going through my potential, like just reaching my potential. So I'm trying to just be more focused on my responsibilities and how I take care of business and things of that nature. So yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. And now we're going to go ahead and fast forward and start with the podcast now. Here on the Patrick Show. This is episode 13, season 2 here on the Patrick Show. And as always, this one's going to be a little bit different as we're online. And next to me is a very, I don't want to call him a man. He's speedster, menace on the field. Sean from up north, all around up north, matter of fact, within the U.S. Go ahead and share with us a little bit about yourself and the journey to where you are today.
All right, for sure. So I'm originally from the south suburbs of Chicago, that area, Richmond Park, Madison. If you know, you know. That area. But I usually just say I'm from Chicago just to give people like a general understanding of where I'm from.
Yeah.
Up there most of my life. I've always been in sports since I was young. I was always had some type of ball in my hand. I was doing something active.
Right.
So I started playing baseball first. That was my first love. My dad got me into baseball first. And eventually, he got me into football. My mom didn't like it, but I eventually got me. Been playing football since I was about 5 for the Richmond Park. Great organization, great people. It was really it takes like a village to raise the kids. Like that's how it was. Everybody was invested into everybody's kids. It was a great team. Stay with that team up to my 8th grade year.
Yeah.
And went to high school. And originally I was going to go to Marian Catholic, but it was a lot of just rules and regulations going to the Catholic school in general that I didn't think was necessary just for my football career. Football is what it is. Like I don't want it to be difficult. So I ended up going to Rich Central High School. Did my 4 years there. My first year I played freshman and sophomore. I started on both. So
very impressive.
Basically 2 games a week or half and half, or how the rules were back in the day. And that was a good experience. It was fun. I was active, things like that. And then my sophomore year, I got bumped up to varsity. I was been starting on varsity since my sophomore year, and had a good career. I had a good year that year. Junior year was pretty good as well. Probably racked up about 800 to 900 yards that year. I had a dual threat quarterback in the backfield with me. So we were sharing the backfield with my guy Jared Mitchell, man. He's actually on his little pro day, going through his pro day stuff now. So shouts out to him. And then then got to my senior year. Going into my senior year, I was committed to Western Michigan. So backing up to about the end of my junior year, my recruitment process wasn't too exciting. Especially in terms of how good I've done in college so far.
Yeah.
I probably only had about 4 to 5 offers. Nothing too big. Western was probably my best one. Eastern Michigan was my first offer, and then South Dakota, the Coyotes, they got me, and then South Dakota State, Jackrabbits, and then Minnesota State, which is actually all good programs.
Right.
Even speak about just me learning more about college football. Even at those levels, those are good college programs, especially those Jackrabbits. They've been doing pretty good the past few years, actually. And so then ultimately I ended up committing to Western Michigan. I actually had a guy above me, a linebacker. He ended up going there too. So that didn't really play too much of a role, but it was definitely nice to have somebody from back home in the same area I was in college.
Sure.
So yeah, I ended up, it was the best fit for me. It was taking 2 running backs. I remember like in the summer, I seen the first running back come in. I was like, all right, I gotta make a decision for it.
Yeah.
These offers are slipping away. So I took the Western one.
Mm-hmm.
And got there my freshman year. Room was deep, probably like 10 running backs deep. Everything just didn't like it.
Oh my.
Yeah. It was like 10 running backs in there. And then I was just working my way up from there, just going through the conditioning, going through the process, just being a freshman on the college football team, going through what that is and stuff like that. And then fast forward got to like fall camp. I was having a good fall camp. I was still probably around, I'll say 4 to 5 on the depth chart. So I'm starting to work my way up from the 10 range.
Right.
Yeah. So then then we had this little thing called a fan fest. This is like basically like at the end of like fall camp, we invite some of our fans over just to watch us practice and stuff.
Okay.
Have a little show. And actually, I had a great day. Had a breakout day. I had 2 touchdowns that day. I don't know how many rushing yards, but it was practice. But
yeah.
It was a game day situation for me, so I took advantage of it. And then from there, I moved up. I got bumped up to 3rd in the depth chart. And I ended up passing over 2 college transfers. They had brought in 2 JUCO transfers. So I was about to say Bellamy and another senior, and then it was me. And I was just playing my role all year, but basically throughout my freshman year, it got to a point where like the numbers is like I'm a 2 in terms of like production, but like on the chart it say 3. So basically I was a 2 my freshman year. Had some good games. My best game my freshman year, I think I had like 5 for 126, 2 tons against Georgia State.
Yep, I did see that. Yeah.
That game was crazy. Me and the senior guy was trying to go back and forth to see like who could get more touchdowns.
Right.
Even though he had more carries, I think he probably had like 20-something carries that game, but he finished with like upper 180s, probably like 204 tons. So he got me on that one. So then fast forward, COVID hit.
Yeah.
COVID was definitely hectic. Just for me personally, because like I've always been like a people person. So it's like I always like being around people, hanging around the guys and stuff like that. And then we just get into this world where it's just isolation.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was just being by myself. It was alright. I was at home most of the time with my moms and stuff. And we got back to school. That was hectic. Like after we got through fall camp, we had heard news about how they was going to cancel the season. And then our offensive coordinator, I think he works for the Broncos right now. He had, and Jake Moore, he works for the Broncos right now. And he had said, listen, guys, don't believe anything you see on the internet.
Yeah.
And as soon as he said that, we turned around and looked at our phones, and NCAA had canceled the season. But it was so funny because he was just having a rant about it.
Right, that's ironic right there. Yeah.
So then we go through that. I go through the COVID season. We only had 6 games. Started that where we ended up bringing 2 transfers in behind me. A guy from Michigan State and a guy from Nevada. And I had to battle for that spot. I mean, going into it, they had said, like, coaches say a lot, but like, you just gotta, it's in the grapevine. You gotta know what's going on to like, it actually happens. And then I ended up getting the starting job. So I was going through that. Got hurt 3rd game into the season. Central Michigan, 3rd quarter. Sprained my ankle pretty bad. And ended up not playing. I tried to play in the last game of the season against Ball State. We had a crazy end of the game situation that went like viral on the internet, like backyard football.
Really?
Yeah, well, we actually scored that game because like the penalties canceled out. Because both teams rushed the field while the play's still going on. So it's like, it's chaotic.
Yeah.
And so we're just watching like the play unfold, and they were like, well, the ball was never down. So we ended up scoring, but like the problem is like one of the lateral throws was all hurt like upfield. So we came off that after they reversed seeing the film and stuff like that. And fast forward through my junior year. That was more of my breakout season. We didn't finish like we were supposed to. We had a lot of good names on that team. We could have definitely went all the way, but we just didn't piece it together. It just didn't play out that way. And I think I had 1,100 that year, 9 touchdowns, a couple of pass, kick returns, touchdowns. And yeah, that was an overall good season. I just felt really good that season. I was comfortable in the offense, the program, the culture.
Sure.
I just knew the team had my back, things of that nature. It was just good. I was a leader on the team, but I wasn't a vocal leader. Like, I was not like the super vocal guy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was cool though. I had a lot of fun, made my plays, and just doing everything for the team, whatever I could. That's always been like a thing with me. Like, you out here, like, we fighting for the same thing, so like we got to be on the same page at all times. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Moving forward to my 4th season, that was a hectic season. We just didn't have it all, like in terms of like depth in certain positions. So our O-line struggled a little bit that year. Then we ended up finishing the season like 6-6 or something like that. We actually might have went under 500 that year. I still, it was an up and down season. Just rely heavy on the run game towards the end of the year. Ended up cracking 1,000. The last game against Toledo, they ended up winning the back that year. And then I ended up hopping in the portal.
Right.
Yeah, coaching staff got fired, O-line situation. It was just a lot going on. We didn't really have like a stable starting QB, like off the transfer portal. Like, even if you get a bunch of guys in, that's hit or miss. Yeah. Depends on, and we got a new head coach, so it's like that was a new person. So I took my chances in the portal, ended up getting some good offers, and then I ended up committing to Oklahoma State. I was committed there for about a month. I was always in kind of cahoots with Minnesota. Okay. One of my coaches from Western, he came over here, so I was always like, it was always in the back of my mind, like if that opportunity presented itself, that would be somewhere I played. Plus, I always heard good things about Coach Fleck and him being at Western Michigan, the Rose Bowl culture and stuff like that. So once I got a call from them, you know, that's my guy. So it's like it's different when you hop in the game, you kind of know somebody. Yeah, so, but it was definitely like just outside of me knowing him, I felt like it was the right decision for me. It was a good decision, like what the culture was about, like and what like that culture, like the Rose Bowl culture, like specifically teaches you is like it's good for life. Like, and I can be completely honest about that. And I respect what Coach Fleck does, and yeah, so I got there. And I was just like battling for a spot throughout the spring. Spring went well. It was good to see like a new speed of competition. People are bigger, faster, stronger. Right. That's always exciting for me because it's like I'm a competitor, so it's like I like to just like, oh, this is challenging. Like, let's try it. Yeah. Yeah. So that, and then I just ended up starting at the beginning of the season, and then just had some unfortunate, I ain't had no luck this season, so it was like it was a bad season for me. I feel like I let some stuff just get to my head throughout the year. Shouldn't have did that, but like it was growing pains, learning moments. Like, right. You're gonna learn something new every year you get older, whatever it is. You ain't gonna always be at the tip top. You know, as much as you strive to be, like you're gonna have times where you make that little dip, but you always gotta, just try to keep going straight. Exactly right. So yeah, that's the season played out how it played out, and now I'm here today just training for my pro day next week and ready to see what the future holds for me.
Yeah, that's exciting. Like you were saying, you gave us a very full, in-depth story about you and your journey and carrying forward. I love to hear that. And as we continue, as always here on the Patrick Show, we like to start it off with a prayer. So if you don't mind, we'll go ahead and bow our heads for a short one. Father God, thank you again for this opportunity you give us, Lord. I ask that we continue to work in your name, that you lead us, Lord, and that whatever the situation may be, that we can have that end goal in mind, Lord, that we can continue to strive to give all glory and praise to your name. I thank you again. I cannot thank you more enough for all the blessings that you give each and every one of us. I just ask that we don't take it for granted, but we just use it to glorify your name. In the Lord's name we pray. Amen. And now going forward, we always like to start off again with the hot take. And knowing and hearing more about your story, I got asked that in between that middle part of your section, you talked about the transfer portal. So I got asked, what are some of the pros and cons you saw going and entering into the portal?
I like let me make this this little like correlation.
Okay.
So basically, the transfer portal is like, it's almost like dating.
Okay.
So it's like you have like a player in a school, and like they have this relationship, and it gets to a point where a player feels like the school's not holding up that end of the bargain in terms of that relationship.
That's fair.
Just go on social media, transfer portal, and find another school to go to, somebody else to be. Same thing, but that's how I feel the majority of the time it's used. And that's where a lot of guys get hurt at, and they just end up jumping into this pool where it's thousands of players in there, and not a lot of guys have film.
Right.
So that's usually like a lot of people's issue. Like if you don't have film, and there's like 1,000 guys that look just like you with similar film or better, it's hard to like pick somebody out of that pool.
No doubt.
It's like in the haystack. It's hard to find unless you got like you already like a notable college player.
Yeah.
You got the size, and somebody thinks like, okay, like the potential, or you had a bunch of offers coming out of high school. Like if you already got that type of momentum, it's gonna be hard to just jump in the portal and think you're gonna go somewhere better or almost even the same level. Really,
right.
A lot of people go down a level. I was just blessed to even go in there and jump out and rise.
Yeah, and like you just used, that was a terrific analogy that you used, of using it, similarities to dating. And I mean, it makes sense. You hit the nail on the noggin for sure with that comparison. And, going forward now, we're going to talk about a little bit about you and your high school career. Clearly, you being a track star and a high school athlete, playing football as well. Just share with us what you did to have early success so quickly.
I just feel like the person I naturally am, like I'm always like since I've always been young, I've always just been running, and just always been my thing. I've always been known for like just being. This is like a God-given gift. Like I don't know. I can't. People ask me all the time, like, what do you do? How are you running this fast?
Sure.
Like, I can't tell you. Like, I get up and putting them down, running like y'all are. I'm just moving a little. Like, but I used to work out a lot when I was younger. I will say that, like, whether it was like I'll see my dad in the garage lifting with the neighbor and getting the team. I'm trying to be like that when I'm older. So I'll go in there, hit sets or something I can handle. And I was always just like a kid, just love to be strong. Like any other little boy would be. So I always used to like climb trees and stuff, really acrobatic. So I do a lot of flipping and stuff like that when I was younger.
Okay.
I got all that tension in the ligaments and stuff young. So I feel like that definitely played a part in terms of me running and just how explosive I am now when I run. So I really would just say is that honestly, that's what I say gives me the edge I have maybe on with the speed.
Okay.
All glory to God to me.
Right. Yeah, I love that answer. Are you still able to do flips, or is that long gone? You still are?
Okay. Yeah, I have to go backwards every now and then to see if I still got it, just to keep that muscle movement. I want to be like 40, 50 and can still flip.
Nah, that's very impressive. More power to you, because I don't know. I was one of those guys that was too afraid to flip and not be able to go all the way back, you know what I'm saying? But that's going forward now. After your high school career, obviously you committed to Western Michigan. So tell us a little bit about that process and your ultimate decision choosing that school.
Okay, cool. So when I got the call from, I was talking to Western since my sophomore year of high school.
Okay.
I was starting in, and they was coming to see my other teammate named Matthew Stuckey. He was being recruited there.
Okay.
Linebacker. I was always in contact with Lou Esposito. He was the defensive coordinator there. I don't think he's no longer there now. He's actually somewhere. I think he's in Memphis now. Yeah, great guy. So I've been in contact with him, and I just always had a good relationship with him. And then what they talk about with the program, and I'll give my friend Stuckey's advice. Just hearing him, like he's my age, from my area, like he's gonna give me the real. So he has had good vibes about it. Good things. I think that year, my sophomore year was the year they went undefeated too. They went in the Cotton Bowl and some more stuff. So I was like, it was already some buzz around.
Yeah.
Almost I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, I got off from there. I was like, look, maybe I can do something with it. Yeah, that's pretty much what we went into. I feel like that was like my best landing spot, and it actually worked out for the best.
Yeah, for sure. It clearly did because, as you mentioned early within this podcast, you spoke about how your role progressed over time and grew. And I guess I want to hear more about how that process went about and just how significant your role grew over time. Your 4 years there.
Okay. So like when I got there, I was a young guy, freshman guy. I mean, my whole thing throughout my recruitment process was like, they didn't know if I was good enough to play on the level at Western's at.
Okay.
Like a DCS, or was I an FCS player, like D1 AA? They never, people didn't want to take that chance on me. So I feel like once I got there, it was like, all right, he's a speed guy. You know, I use it for like outside zones, things like that, quick stuff, you know, in the pass game. But I just like, I feel like I showed them the ability just to run the ball, run the football one, and just be coachable. Like, I'm not a player that's going to give you too many problems.
That's huge, right?
It's nothing like, from like just me and how I was raised, and like my father being the man who he is. Like, I'm not going to argue with like an authority figure. Like, I know I get that I'm older, but like you still got some level of experience over me to where like I need to learn to get better. So like,
absolutely.
I was never one of those guys that was defiant, talking back, give an attitude. Like, I'm just gonna take my coaching and apply it, make it positive, and keep it moving. And I feel like that separated me from a lot of the other guys in the room. Just simple, like just how your character is and how you are as a person, along with how you play on the field. I feel like that's what separated me from them. Like, just me in general out of the room. And then moving forward, like I just started making plays, more and more plays. It's like, all right, when he's young, but like he's ready to play. So I just felt like that just kept going on, and eventually they trust me enough to start.
That's huge. That's huge. I mean, a lot of times people's character is overlooked, but it's important. Obviously, being able to be coachable is one of many factors that comes into, you know, your playing level, your role. And that, obviously, your work ethic was huge factors into where you are today. But clearly from Western Michigan, then you took the decision to enter the transfer portal. And we just mentioned about that process of entering the portal. But after that, you decide to commit to Minnesota. Just share with us that process of transferring in general. And then once you landed there, what was the process going forward?
Okay, so when I first initially hopped in the portal, depending on who you are, the portal is like high school all over again. A bunch of college coaches hitting you up, trying to get you there for business. But my second time around, it was a lot more fun and exciting. Like, okay, like this big school's looking at me, like Kansas State called, Oklahoma State called, that's Boston College, or that's Vanderbilt. I'm like, okay, I'm like, all right, good. Like this how it should have been the first time. I'm just play my role. But yeah, so I ended up choosing Minnesota. It was just a lot of good. I feel like that was like the right decision. Like, and being here, I learned a lot. I had to get used to how they do things in here. I mean, let me just tell you this: it's not for everybody. Like, if you're not
it is.
I'll just tell you like that. Like, if you don't have some type of discipline to yourself or like some mental strength, like this ain't the program for you. Like, you're gonna be here to work. You're gonna work all day. But that's a good thing though, because they teach you a lot of valuable lessons.
It does.
The way. And then what's like Coach Flick like preaches like every day to the team, just about life in general and how it applies to football, and how you do anything is how you do everything. Yeah, once people figure that out, like but it was a good time. It was kind of like learning a new offense. It wasn't too different from Western's offense because it's kind of like a watered down version of their old, like their offense and their old coordinator. Rocker, he's now he comes at Rutgers now. He's their offense coordinator. Yeah, so it was pretty cool. Same inside zone RPO concepts, stuff I was used to. Me, and then we got Coach Harbaugh, my previous coach. Western actually was the co-offensive coordinator. So that was another little interesting factor in my decision too. Like, this guy put me on a Western, you know, as my dog. So and he didn't let me down. Like, I got there, was able to compete for a starting job, and began the season starting.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. And then, like we mentioned there at Minnesota, obviously it didn't play out record-wise as y'all had envisioned, but obviously you did finish strong, going 2-0 your last two games of the season. Just share with us a little bit about your experience overall at Minnesota, and if there was any games or situations that sticked out to you that season.
Okay, cool. Minnesota. Okay, so just playing on a Power 5 program in general, like the atmosphere is different. Even from like where I was at Western, like stadiums are way more people in there. Fan bases, like people yelling your name, you don't even know them. Like I'm getting there first game, people yelling my name. I was like, dude, that's a guy. Like, and it's such a surreal feeling.
Sure.
So like every game was always like, to me, like, I mean, it was like my first time. So
yeah.
It was great. Always a big crowd, loud noises, the lights, the stuff you dream of as a kid. Is like, I'm looking at it, and it's just like, it was just a blessing. Like, honestly, just being able to be on that stage and be able to say I was on that stage and was able to perform and do what I could do. And some of my like favorite games, we played at the Ohio State game. That was all cool. So I got to go to the Ohio State Stadium, get a couple, you know what I'm saying, playing that a little bit. And then, what else? The Michigan game. I played Michigan a couple of times. And every time I play Michigan, it's always they're Michigan. It's always good to see that level of competition because that's NFL competition.
Absolutely.
So that was a good game. The Iowa game, I underestimated that rivalry as intense. Iowa was something serious. I really enjoyed the wave to the crowd to the Children's Hospital. That was great after the first quarter. That's a great tradition they got there at Iowa. And the Wisconsin game was pretty cool too. That's just a big rivalry week for us personally. One of the oldest. I think that's the oldest rivalry in college football.
Really?
Yeah. So we fight for the Aggies. Wisconsin haters, we hate them. It was snowing. It was typical like constant like football in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot too, just about life, about being a man, about making decisions, about how to handle adversity, the whole nine. Like, it was a great experience.
Absolutely. I mean, most definitely, like you said, it sounded like you had a lot of surreal moments there at Minnesota as well as Western Michigan, of course, as well. And carrying forward, we've talked about high school, we've talked about college. Now, let's talk a little bit about pros. Have you ever had, I'm sure you've had a NFL team that you've been a fan of.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, the funny thing about me is, like, I play all these sports and I do not watch. Like,
Really?
Yeah, it's like, it's something I do every day.
Okay.
Like, if I'm going out the house, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to do something athletic. So when I get home, I want to watch something that ain't got nothing to do with it. I feel like I just probably finished the Walking Dead series in like 3 weeks. I'm on season 11, first episode.
Yeah.
I like to do stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, run that question back again. My bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I mean, like I said, we were talking about high school and then collegiate, now the pros. I was just curious if you had any teams that you grew up watching or favoritism to.
Oh, yeah. Back to the teams. So, yeah, with the teams, I don't watch sports. So, I had my favorite players, but not really like a favorite team.
Okay.
Like, if my favorite player was on that team, it's like, I'm rocking with that.
Right.
So, like, a lot of the time, I was a big Le'Veon Bell fan. So, I was with the Steelers.
Yeah.
From what I can remember, I always loved the Steelers. Troy Polamalu, Roethlisberger, AB, like, even though AB crazy right now. Like, hey, we can't take off his doing on the field. So.
Yeah. And I mean, that's huge. Yeah. I mean, we'll watching Le'Veon Bell play as well. His patience, it was different compared to everybody else. And his style of game is definitely something I love watching as well. And since you said you like watching movies and television, do you have an all-time movie or a TV show?
I'll say all-time movie series. I like the Avengers series. Like,
okay,
I could
that's
watch
fair.
that over and like they're just like the stuff that went in just to making them for it to turn out how it did. Like that's just still amazing. It's like it's a good movie. I just enjoy the storyline. It's action packed. There's a lot of stuff going on. I like to watch movies that keep me like intrigued or I'm just fall asleep.
Yeah. That's awesome. And now that leads to the big time question here on the podcast. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, come on.
All right, let's do it. My big time question for you is, what's the end goal? What do you have in mind? You know, as you mentioned, your final season just wrapped up. What's the next chapter for Sean?
Right now, the next chapter is just first and foremost just getting a better relationship with God. I feel like that's what been thinking about heavy. And then with my football career, just preparing for my pro day.
Yeah.
Have the pro day I can, put my best efforts out there and see where that takes me with my league responsibilities. And then after that, I'm gonna go see what sports psychology has for me. I'm gonna go back to school, get my second degree. I'm going to sports psychology. I really enjoy like talking to people, talking to athletes about what they got going on, and just people see like the brighter side of life, and not think in such a negative way. Because most humans always like react negatively, and like the way the world is what we project on social media and in the news. Like 9 times out of 10 is negative.
You're right.
Like it's not positivity going on. So I can see how easy it could be to get like negative, especially in like the college football realm, where like you come from in high school being the guy, and you get on a team with 100 dudes that was the guy at their school, and now you just a mouse in there, you're quiet. Like it takes a lot of pride out of people, and I can see how that'll put a lot of people down. Cause like I seen how like just how my like career and stuff went. Like I've had my, I can see how like that would like knock somebody off their road. Like so yeah.
That's real. And that's huge what you're saying, growing your faith, and then just looking to see what he takes you afterwards. And that's beautiful here. And like you mentioned, I mean, there is a lot of negativity in this world, and I hopefully you and many other people like ourselves can just bring back positivity here. And as we begin to sum up and wrap up on time, I just want to give you the floor one last time if you want to give any shout outs or any last words of encouragement to those listening.
Definitely. I always shout out to God first and foremost. My family, my parents, they always found a way to make it work. Whatever like the situation was, like they always supported me and had my back.
Yeah.
And it's hard to ever repay that. So appreciate everybody that like coached me up just throughout the years, college, little league, high school, just the whole developed me into a player and like the man I am today.
Right.
Yeah, and just like maybe got like a message for the world. I don't know, like just positive, like just be more positive about stuff. Like everything ain't as bad as it seems. Like you walking around, living and breathing, you can look over and see somebody you know, and you got a loved one to talk to. Like you're blessed. Like a lot of people don't got that. Like you just gotta cherish everything you got, and everybody count your blessings.
Yeah, I appreciate those words of encouragement and wisdom of yourself. And as we head out, be sure, guys, those listening, watching, wherever you're doing, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Check out the merchandise. As we continue to do more of these podcasts, just let us know what you liked and just give us some more spill about your thoughts on each and every episode. With that being said, as we head out, we'll just say peace on 3. Sounds good with you, Sean? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Peace. There you go.